Hi, I'm Alexander Maxim from YouTube.io. Today we'll check the jQuery events. The jQuery has four types of events, and today we'll check the first type, which is the mouse events. What I mean by the mouse events is all the events applied when, for example, we clicked on an element or we enter the mouse in the area of the element, something will be applied. This is what I mean by the events. And in the mouse events we have or we'll take 4 or 5 types. So the first is the click, the double click, the mouseEnter, mouseLeave, mouseOver, and finally with the hover. But to do that we need some HTML and CSS to apply and to organize our work. Firstly, we need to do or to add a hidden example to be more clearly. Events jQuery events part 1 mouse events, for example. Then I need to do a table. Inside the table we have in the first table row we have the th elements or the th elements. We have firstly the click, then we copy, and so the double click, the mouse enter, and MP the mouse leave, and finally we have the mouse over, like that. In the table row, this is the table or the table hidden, the first row in the table, the head of the table. Then we have also the table body, which is the contents of the table, and it has firstly we have the table row. Then inside the table row we have the table data. In the table data, firstly we have two buttons. In the first one we have the first button with the type is button, and the class is, for example, button click, and the text inside the button, which is the click. I will just copy and paste this button because we have another button which is button double click, and here double click, like that. And we have another TD. Inside this TD we will add an image. So we have the div class TD image, for example, 1. Inside the div I have another div overlay to apply the effect of the mouseEnter and mouseLeave. So just I want to build an organized work to understand and to test what's the benefit of these events and when we use them. So the overlay will add a hidden h3 hidden, the title of image 1, for example, and a description paragraph with a description of or about the first image. Let's copy and paste same thing here and just modify overlay 1 to 2 and this image to the second image. Great. Now let's reload. This is my table. I will add a border to my table. Border 1 should be bordered like that. This is our image that we will add now in the CSS style. So in the CSS, firstly we will check the table and give it the text align center to center all the elements inside the table. I will give it a margin top 50 pixels. Also, I will give the TRTH and table TRTD. I will give the table heading and the table data a padding. For example, 10 pixels from the top and the bottom, and 30 pixels from the right and left, like that. Great. Now for the divs, TD image 1 and TD image 2. For example, I will add a width 100 pixels and also the same height to be like that, and the background I will give to it an image with this path in the image, and I will select this image. Also, what I need for that, and for example to cover for the background size, I will cover all background and a margin 0.02 to center the divs, and a cursor which is pointer. Let's see what happens. Great, like that. I need my image, and for this buttons I will add a class, for example table button. I will add to it a border, for example 1 pixel solid, and this color. Also I will add a padding 10 pixels like that, a cursor pointer, and a background color is transparent, and a border radius 5 pixels. Great, like that, to be a little like what I need just to build my elements. And I need also something after the table, a div or a UL or div. Just I need a div. Inside this div, what I have, the div with the class lists, for example, and I will add 2 lists. The first list is the list, just one, and I have my list here. I need also a class for the list, or this class. Let's make this class here, and for this div I need a list click, like that. This is what I need for this div, and my UL and list item list 1 or item 1, and just I copy and paste the same element 4 times, for example 2, 3, 4, just to build a list like that. Great. To show when we click on this button, this list will we will show this list by clicking on this button. Great. So if we have an element to show, just we click one time on this button and this element will appear. This is the benefit, and this is why I'm using the click event. So in your page you need this event because you have many things for example, to show like a list, like anything in your site. Just click on something, on elements, on button, on link, on anything in your site, and show this, and the element will appear like we will do just now, right now, sorry. So just we will add the same div here, and this is the second list. Let's click like that, and let's see. Yeah, I need to add some CSS properties for this div. So for the list one, or the list test one, and also for the list test two, I will add some for example, list style none for the list, a margin left, for example, 0 pixels, and a border 1 pixel solid, and the same border here, this color, and for the width 100 pixels, and for the padding is 10 pixels, border radius is 5 pixels, text line I want to be in the center, and for the and right now we will see our grid. We need to do something for this list. So I need to access to the div, and I will give it the float left, and width is 33, like that. To be the first aside the other. And also I need to give to it, for example, for style, margin left 20 pixels, like that, or no, just in the second element, not in the first element. Great, like that. It's great. That's what I need for that. So also for the overlay one, and for the and for the overlay 2, what I need a background color, or yeah, background color RGBA with 5 and 0,7, and also a height 100, and for the color is the white color, and a font family, for example, Arial, and a margin top is -12, and display is for now. I want just to see this is my elements. Great. I can also add, for example, here to be clear, click event, and here double click events, like that. And for example, I would give the first div like that also, and here 30 pixels. Great. So this is my div, and for the overlay I will add the same thing for the lists. H3, the font size is, for example, is 12, for example, and a padding from the top is 20 pixels. And let's see, it's not in the list. For example, I will add to the overlay 1, and the same thing for the overlay 2. here overlay 2, and let's see what happens. Great. Same thing, I will add to the paragraph, all that to organize our work and to see how the events will work. So what I want to do, when we click one time on click event, this list will slide from the up to the down. The same thing when we double the click on this button, and when we enter the mouse inside or on the image, this overlay will appear, and when we leave the mouse, the image will return to the nature type, and the same thing for the mouseOver. So let's start. For the plugin.js, I will add the function, which is the document that's ready function. When the page is loaded, this is all the content inside the function will work or will be applied. Firstly, we will start with the click event. In the click event, let's take the class. When we click on this button, when we click on this button, we will do a function. Inside this function, what I will do, I will go to the list, this list or list 1, and I will hide this element for this list. For example, list 1 and list 2, I will give it the height is 0 and the visibility is hidden. Great. I will see. And for the overlay, what I need for the overlay, I will, for example, give it the display none, and I will show them. So for the list style or the list test, I will animate this method. Animate has two parameters. The first is an object, a JavaScript object, to do some properties here. For example, high, and give the value of the high. If we have another element, we put a comma and click the width, for example. But now I want just to animate the high from 0, like you see here, from 0 for this list, because it's 0 now. The height of the list is 0. I want to slide from 0 to 100 with the image, and the speed of the image is 600 and milliseconds. And now let's apply the same thing for this. I will show it by the CSS. In the CSS attributes, I will check the visibility here. The visibility is hidden. I want to show it by the value is the property, and the value of the property is visible. And now just we click, and like you see here, is smoothly the height from the 0 to 100. If we check, for example, like that, see, more smoothly. So we need, for example, just 600 and milliseconds, and like that it's very great. I need, for example, 80 pixels, and like that is great. So now the same thing for the double click. I will just copy double click event. I will take the class of the button, and when the event is double click, double click. So when we click 2 times, when we double the click on the button, this function will work. So what we need for when we click when we double the click, so we need to show this or to display this list, which is the second list. Here I will do the same thing. I will animate to 80 pixels in 600 milliseconds, and I will just edit the same thing for the visibility. In the CSS property visibility, I will change it to visible, and I will just click. So when we click one time, nothing will apply. So when we click 2 times, this is the same. And when we click 1 time here, this is the list. So these are the events, click and double click events. We need them in our site because they're very important and for all the elements in our site. So for the image, we have the portfolio. For example, we have 2 images and we want to for example, when you enter the mouse in this picture, just when you enter the mouse, I want to display, for example, the title and the description. So for example, in e-commerce site, if we have here a product, just when I enter the mouse here, so the system will give me the price of this product. So here just we will take and we'll do this event. So we have the mouseEnter event. In the mouseEnter event, what we need, firstly, I need this class here, and I need the mouseEnter event. Inside the mouseEnter event, what I will do, I will just show this class or this div. I will show it by the fit in 600 milliseconds. And so look at the mouse. When we enter, this informations will appear like you see here, the title of image. But when we leave, nothing will apply because here we haven't anything when we leave the mouse. So we need something also when we leave from the image mouseLeave. We have the fade out in 600 milliseconds, and when we enter the mouse, this is the event, and when we leave, this is the event. So when we enter, when we leave, when we enter, when we leave, this is what I need. So the same thing for the mouseOver. But for the mouseOver, it will, for the second image, for the second overlay, is 4 feet in. It will be just like that, and just we keep this form for this image like that. It's not for like for mouseEnter and mouseLeave is 3. Yeah, we have, sorry, here is the mouseLeave. It's not the mouseEnter, and for that, this is the mouseEnter and this is the mouseLeave. mouseEnter, mouseLeave. We have the same thing. We can do the same thing, sorry, for by the hover, and we'll do that now. This is the mouseOver. It will it's like the mouseEnter. The image will stay like that. Let's we need it for example for example, if we have a game and we want to just to when we to move the mouse on an image or keys, for example, we need to select it like that. So when we just move the mouse on the keys, it will be, or it will it will be selected, and it will be counted in the cases that we selected. This is the idea. For example, it's a simple idea, but this idea is as I mentioned, for a product, for example, or something we want to show. I will do the mouseEnter and mouseLeave by the hover. So I will just copy and delete all of them and do it by the hover. In the hover, what I need to select the 2D image 2 and hover, and we have the function. Inside the function, I will fade the overlay 1, put in, and here after the function I have a comma, and I will add another function to fade out this element. Fade out, and let's reload, and so I have, yeah, to the image 1. And when we enter the mouse and when we leave, and when we enter, when we leave, this says the hover is the same thing for the mouseEnter and mouseLeave. So this is what I have today. Thank you for your watching, and have a great day.